Hi, my name is Lauren Munoz. When it comes to Rogers' 5 categories, I would consider myself to be in the early majority category. This is because I am often skeptical of the benefits of certain new technologies as they are released, but when other people start to use it, I tend to try it out as well. A person in my life that I would consider to be an innovator is my Grandpa Jerry. My Grandpa Jerry is a millionaire. He owns his own business. He's old, because he's my grandpa, but he can afford the new technology that comes out. He doesn't even really do much research into it. He just buys it because he can. And this really affects the way that we communicate with each other, because when I go to visit him, it's like a whole new world to me. He finds it amusing that I am so amazed by everything that he has in his house. In fact, if he were to have a day in my life, he would be dumbfounded that my toilet doesn't talk or that my refrigerator doesn't have Bluetooth. Those are things that he has in his house that just because he can have it. That is why I would consider him to be an innovator. He is out of touch with my reality, and I am certainly out of touch with his reality. A person that I would consider the early adopter is my older sister. She actually does her research before she buys into new technologies, unlike my grandpa, because he just buys things because he can. Since she does her research, often she passes on adopting new technologies because they don't benefit her. They wouldn't help her with her job, with her life, with keeping up with things at home. But when she does see something that interests her, she takes it on earlier than the average person would, because she's actually looked into it and done the research. She can afford to do this because she still lives at home. She doesn't have bills. She doesn't have rent. And she has a really good paying job. However, this does affect how we communicate as well, because we are in different categories. We have different priorities. My sister puts this new technology and purchasing it at a high priority in her life, whereas for me, there are more important things, such as paying my bills, something she doesn't have to deal with. Our realities are also out of touch with each other, but we argue all the time about the best way to spend money, and most of it is about the technology that she buys that I would never buy. A person that I would consider to be in the late majority is my Grandma Faye. My Grandma Faye is also old. It is not that she wouldn't adopt new technology, it is more so that she doesn't understand it. She has a hard time with knowing how things work. Often I have to show her how new technology works, but it doesn't mean she's closed-minded to adopting it. She just adopts it later than the majority of people, which is exactly what a late adopter is. A late majority person is. And this affects my communication with her because often she doesn't have the new technology to communicate. It took her years to get a cell phone. I always had to call her home phone, and often she wasn't home. So when she finally did get a cell phone, it was nice, but now there's new technologies coming out that she still doesn't have, and it's a process every time something new comes out to talk to my grandma. Now, somebody who is a lagger is my grandma's husband, my grandpa Benny. My grandpa Benny refuses to use technology at all. He grew up in the 60s. He thinks he doesn't need it. In fact, he thinks people that use it are stupid. He's afraid of it. He doesn't even, I think he has a cell phone, but it's a flip phone. And Grandma made him buy it. But he doesn't ever call me. He doesn't talk to anybody. He doesn't have social media. He doesn't do anything. If he wants to talk to somebody, he goes and he talks to them face to face. He refuses to use his cell phone. So I would consider my grandpa to be a lagger in this regard. He just does not do well with technology. If I had to change my category, I think I would want to be more like, I don't know. I don't think I would change my category. I think where I'm at is pretty good. The early majority category is good because if I could change, I would change to my sister's category, to be honest, because at least I would be doing my research before buying new technology, but I wouldn't want to spend money on it still the way my sister does. So if I had to change, I would say early adopter, just so that I am more educated on technology, but I certainly would not want to go out of my way to spend money on things like that. It's not a priority to me.